Hello and welcome to Health Talk. I'm Dr. Manny. Raising kids is no easy task. Hundreds of new parenting books hit the shelves every year, promising new tips and tricks. But who has time to read them all? My guest is here today to help us get right to the point. Reischer is a psychologist and author of What Great Parents Do. Welcome to the program. Why did you write this book?
The main reason I wrote the book is because when I became a parent, I really wanted to have in one single place, one resource, one book, a compilation, a condensation of all of the parenting best practices that I had read about, that I had thought through, that I had learned about in my training. And I wanted to be able to have brief summaries that are very action-oriented that parents could turn to again and again and again to understand what they could do in those really common, challenging situations that we all encounter as parents.
So basically have the best of in one book.
Yeah, best of, exactly.
Now, you did a lot of research, because you're a psychologist and you're an educator. What study did you see that was an eye-opener for you?
One of the things that was most surprising to me was studies on sleep. I, as a parent, and all of my friends who are parents, we sometimes play it loose with bedtime and let the kids go to bed a little late because it's fun. We're staying up late. The kids want to watch a movie. But it turns out that only about 25 or 30 minutes missing sleep can have a huge difference in children's behavior. And what often looks like behavior problems can really just be sleep deprivation. So 20 to 30 minutes of extra sleep can really improve children's mood, ability to manage their emotions, and to behave better in challenging situations. So sleep is a lot more important, I think, than we give it credit for.
And that's kind of showing up more and more in more studies.
Yes.
All right, I want to go through some specific strategies that you have in the book. So let's mention a few that I think are quite important. One of your strategies is to avoid toxic phrases. In other words, vocabulary becomes important. What do you mean by that?
I call them toxic phrases because they're things that we say and we hear our friends say without even really realizing how problematic they can become when we repeat them over time. So these are phrases like, "You're making me crazy," or "What's wrong with you?" or "You better do it or else." Those phrases are using shame, blame, and fear to motivate behavior. And when we say them again and again, I think that it can impair the parent-child relationship because it suggests that the problem is not behavior, but the problem is the child.
You should have been in my house when I was raising my kids because those were very minor phrases.
Yeah.
Of course it's common. They drive you nuts.
And we don't think about it.
Right.
Well, I would say it's not that we shouldn't think those thoughts. Because as a psychologist, I think, we have our thoughts and feelings and then we have our behavior.
Right.
So the thoughts and feelings are inside. The behavior, including what we say and what we do, is outside. So it's okay to think to yourself, you're driving me crazy, or oh my gosh. I'm just saying don't say it out loud to your kids because we don't want them to be reflecting on what's wrong with them. We want them to change their behavior, not who they are.
Inner voice. Another topic is resist the urge to fix the feelings. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so this idea is something we think about less. There's been a lot of talk about helicopter parenting and don't overfunction for your kids and hover and fix everything in their lives. Well, this is an aspect of fixing that we often do without even noticing, and it's fixing feelings. So as an example, your child walks into the room and says, "I'm bored." And it's a very natural response to want to say, well, you could go outside, you could go play basketball, you could go do this, you can go do that. And we're solving that problem for them. We're trying to fix their boredom, which is problematic in a couple ways. One, it doesn't give them a chance to experience boredom and see what that's like and whether or not they don't want it anymore. It doesn't give them a chance to develop coping skills for a feeling like boredom. And it makes them turn to us more often in the future when they're having that feeling because we're the fixer for that. And that's a minor example. But, it can be examples like disappointment, feelings of failure, discomfort, any kind of discomfort. And I think
let them figure out the feeling and then come with their own solutions, and then you kind of keep an eye on what their strategy is.
Yeah, I would say it's important for kids to learn how to feel their feelings and choose their actions. And it's important for us to learn to tolerate our children's discomfort so they can too.
The last one that I want to bring, which I think indirectly is related to the one that we just mentioned, is you say practice emotion coaching.
That is related, yeah. So emotion coaching basically is a way to help children identify, understand, and manage their feelings. It's a way that we help them, when people are angry, that's their feeling. They will often follow their feelings in action and yell. Or in the case of kids, they'll feel angry and they'll hit. Right? So that's an example of having a feeling that becomes an action right away. That's a reaction.
Right.
Instead, we want to encourage children to learn how to respond to feelings, which means you feel your feeling, you're able to pause, and then decide what to do about that feeling. right? And that's a very, very hard thing to do.
What was the biggest thing you learned from writing this book for yourself?
That's hard to say. I think one of the things that really struck me when I was writing is the importance of empathy. That empathy is the most powerful parenting tool we already have. It's not anything we need to develop. It's just something we need to know we have and then actually use it. And empathy is the power to make someone else feel that you are trying to understand them or are actually understanding them. So it's meeting feelings with feelings. A lot of times, our children have big feelings, and the world, they experience the world in a different way than we do. And so, they might drop their ice cream cone and it's the worst thing in the world, and we know that it's not. So we might unintentionally undermine their feelings by saying, oh, don't worry, honey, it's just an ice cream cone. And we minimize that experience. That, for a lot of kids, can make them even more upset because we're not getting it. So it can be much more helpful to our relationship and to calming down the moment by saying, oh, you're so disappointed your ice cream cone dropped. You were so looking forward to that. Oh, honey. And by showing that empathy, they go, yeah, I know. I am.
Can you give me another one?
Yeah, maybe that too. But it de-escalates, right? And we're meeting them where they are.
Great stuff. Thank you. And if you have any health questions, tweet me at Dr. Manny on Fox. Until next time, I'm Dr. Manny.